If you're trading across multiple brokers, you've probably already realized that tracking your performance can get incredibly messy. And I mean fast. You might be running one account for your long-term stocks, completely different software for your fast-paced futures trading, and hey, maybe you're even juggling a couple of prop firm challenges on the side. But here's the thing. When your data is spread out all over the place like that, it isn't just annoying. It's actually damaging your ability to grow as a trader.
Think about it for a second. Is your trade data scattered across 3 or 4 different platforms right now? This problem is simple, but it's absolutely devastating. If your data is fragmented, your entire review process becomes weak. You could literally be highly profitable on one broker, but completely bleeding money on another. And because you're logging into all these separate dashboards, you just don't realize the net result until the end of the month. You're essentially trading blind.
We really need to talk about the old way versus the new way. The old way? Messy spreadsheets, manual data entry, missing trades, hidden risks. Honestly, it's just exhausting. It forces you to spend hours typing in entry and exit prices when, let's be real, you should be studying the charts. But the new way? Good trade tracking software brings everything into one single centralized dashboard. You get to completely ditch the spreadsheets and finally see the full picture of what's actually driving your profitability. Now, to pull this off, the software you go with has to do way more than just spit out your total profit and loss. It needs a few essential tracking features. It absolutely must import your trades seamlessly, organize multiple accounts flawlessly, compare your cross-platform performance, and analyze those hidden risks. A top-tier tool really helps you drill down and figure out exactly which broker, which market, and which specific setup is actually putting money in your pocket.
So, let's dive into Feature 1, Seamless Sync and Import.
Look, if logging a trade takes you more than 30 seconds, human nature says you're eventually just going to stop doing it. Manual tracking is practically a death sentence for your discipline. That's exactly where the right software steps in. TradeZella, for instance, allows you to auto-sync or import trades from over 500 different brokers. Whether you're using interactive brokers, Thinkorswim, NinjaTrader, it doesn't matter. You connect it once, and every single trade automatically populates into one clean dashboard the literal second you close your position.
Moving right along to Feature 2, Multi-Account Performance Tracking.
Okay, so centralizing your data is awesome, but you absolutely still need to separate those accounts to see your individual performance. Think about it. Which account is actually performing the best right now? Which one is suffering the absolute worst drawdowns? Tools like TradeZella have this prop firm sync feature, and it gives you a dedicated dashboard that tracks all your valuations and payouts across multiple funded accounts, keeping them totally visually distinct from your personal capital. It's a real game changer.
Next up is Feature 3, Setup and Strategy Comparison. Your tracking software absolutely needs to show you what is actually working across different asset classes. Take a super common scenario, like a breakout setup. Your data might reveal that this exact setup is highly profitable for you in futures, but for some reason it just bleeds money in stocks. Without a unified tracking system putting that right in front of your face, you'd probably just see a mediocre overall win rate, and you might abandon a strategy that is actually pure gold when you restrict it to the right market.
That brings us to Feature 4, Risk and Drawdown Analysis.
Juggling multiple accounts can so easily mask a massive hidden danger, and that's your true total risk exposure. You might look at one prop firm account and think, okay, I'm only risking a little bit here. Then you look at your personal account and think the exact same thing. But your combined financial risk spread across all of those accounts, that might be dangerously high without you even realizing it.
When you actually stack the drawdowns of 3 different accounts on top of each other, that cumulative risk becomes crystal clear. High-end tracking software reviews these combined drawdowns, your risk-to-reward ratios, and your losing streaks all at once. It essentially acts as an anchor, keeping your position sizing habits strictly in check across your entire trading portfolio, rather than just looking at isolated little bubbles.
And finally, Feature 5, Replaying Trades and Mistakes.
We need to pivot here for a second, moving away from just the raw numbers and talking about your actual psychological execution. Because trade tracking is definitely not just about the math. You also need to review execution. Looking at a static chart at the end of the trading day makes every single exit look so obvious in hindsight, right? But utilizing mistake tags reveals the honest truth. It shows whether your losses came from a bad setup, weak risk management, or just purely emotional panic in the heat of the moment.
This is where TradeZella's Trade Replay feature completely changes the game, and it does it with a simple 3-step process. Step 1, you replay any trade from your journal using real tick-by-tick data so you watch it unfold exactly as it did live. Step 2,
Right there in the replay, you tag your execution mistakes the precise second you spot them. And step 3, you add in your journal notes. This whole workflow gives you completely unmatched context to fix your execution simply because it restores that raw uncertainty you felt during the live trade.
Which leads us to our final verdict.
Look, if your trades are spread across a bunch of different platforms and clunky spreadsheets, it just becomes exponentially harder to know what's actually holding you back. The solution is pretty clear. Centralize your data, uncover the insights, and fix your mistakes. TradeZella really stands out as the ultimate option here, primarily because it takes all that scattered, messy data and transforms it into actionable playbooks and concrete strategy improvements.
So if you're ready to stop guessing and start treating your trading like a real, serious business, you need to take action right now. You can grab 20% off your TradeZella subscription by clicking the link today and using promo code WR20. But before you go, let me leave you with this final thought. Are your scattered spreadsheets actually protecting your capital, or are they just hiding the exact mistakes that are keeping you from becoming consistently profitable?